Auburn will have 0 returning starters on the offensive line in 2026. Ooh, man, let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick Frazier, and welcome to Water Cooler Talk Sports. If this is your first time here around the water cooler, thank you so much for joining us, man. Please hit the subscribe button. We are now on our way to 1,200 subscribers as soon as we could possibly get there, hopefully before the end of January. So please help us get there. If you are a returning viewer here, please thank you so much for coming back and watching us, man. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button, like this video. Like I said, we are on our way to 1,200 subscribers before the end of January 2026. And we appreciate y'all so much for helping us get to 1,100 subscribers so quick, man, in a very short amount of time. So, but we thank you. Let's get into the conversation. Let's get into today's video. Man, the offensive line at Auburn is going through a rebuild, is what it is. If you have been at this channel long enough, I say it all the time, I can talk line of scrimmage every single day if I could, but you probably wouldn't tune in. I can talk defensive line, I can talk offensive line all day, every day, because that is where I believe it is very imperative that we have in this in the league, in the SEC, in football in general. You have to have very strong, very dominant, very at the least above average line of scrimmage play in order to be able to be competitive to win games in this league. And Auburn is going to be breaking in a whole new offensive line in the 2026 season. I want to go through 3 points of why this is imperative. 3 points of why this is just so important for Auburn to get this right, for Auburn to get this right, and for Auburn to get this right. So stay tuned for all 3 and tell me which one you agree with the most. Point number 1. The offensive line determines the QB success, not the other way around. You cannot evaluate or develop a quarterback without a stable offensive line, especially in the SEC. How many times this year watching Auburn football have we looked at Jackson Arnold in the pocket and we look at an offensive line in front of him that could not pick up stunts and twists? And it made the quarterback rush his timing, hold on to the ball a little bit longer than normal, not be confident in the pocket, with a quarterback that already lost his confidence, that seemed. How many times did we see that this past season? Man, and now you have a guy that you are potentially about that has announced his intentions to enter the portal. I'm talking about Byron Brown, quarterback from USF, who's been with this coaching staff before. He is now basically, you ask any Auburn insider or any person that talks in the Auburn talk space, they feel as if he is on his way to Auburn. And now you have to have a brand new offensive line in front of him to protect him. This is very important. Having a new QB, having a new offensive line, the mode for developing this and developing relationships just went from easy to medium. Now you at all Madden. That's the mode. You got to be all Madden, because now that time to learn each other and to understand each other is now compressed down. And now you have to be able to get communication right, man. QBs get blamed, but offensive lines decide whether the QB survives. That's the reason why QBs get blamed a lot, because most of the time they don't have time. They're running for their life majority of the time. Now, sometimes they out here making just dumb mistakes. They throwing the ball in windows that they shouldn't be. But a lot of the times, the offensive line is not up to par or adequate enough to give the QB enough time to go through his progressions and read. Also, when it comes back to running the football, we have to be able to have a dominant offensive line when we want to. If Auburn is talking about the non-negotiable is running the football, it's something that we have to do. Point number 2, you cannot compete in the SEC without a veteran, above average, skillful, powerful offensive line play. You just can't. I'm looking at my notes here. I wrote down the SEC is one in the trenches. Auburn doesn't get a pass because it's rebuilding. Auburn can't get a pass just because you hire a new coach. And now you had a lot of guys that have announced their intention to enter the portal. And now there will be no starter, no starter from the previous offensive line on this team in the 2026 season. You potentially are literally going to be starting a whole new offensive line. Connor Lew just announced his decision to enter the NFL draft. Now, Connor Lew's gone, Dylan Wade's gone, Jeremiah Wright's gone, Mason Murphy's gone, Xavier Chaplin's gone, Xavier Miller is gone. You have Kale Ellis coming back, who will potentially could be your starting center next year. You have a Broderick Scholl there, Tyler Johnson, but you lost a DeAndre Carter, you lost a Favorite Edwin, you lost a Seth Wilford. You have a lot of young guys that are back there behind these guys that are leaving. The depth of the offensive line, of the offensive room, is leaving, has left, or at least now they announced their intentions to leave. This could cause a lot of issues. Communication issues is something that I spoke on before. Not being able to hear. Let's not talk about that. Not being able to understand what the offense, what the center is seeing and the checks that he's making. Missed assignments. And not being able to just control the line of scrimmage. Not being able to push people 1 to 2 yards on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Not being able to be dominant enough to do what you want to do scheme-wise on the offensive side of the ball. That's what Auburn is looking at. Auburn is literally in a situation to where all new people will be on this offensive line starting next year. I need people to understand this. This is imperative. This is imperative. This is important. You got to get this right. In the SEC, talent helps, but experience in the trenches wins games. That it does. So point 2, you cannot compete in the SEC without a veteran, above average, skillful, dominant offensive line play. And that is something that Auburn has to address. That's where resources have to go. It has to go to the line of scrimmage if Auburn has a chance of winning, which goes into my third point. This is a program defining moment. If Auburn does not get this right, if Auburn doesn't fix it now, we'll be in a reset in 3 years. How Auburn handles this offensive line reset will tell us where the program is headed. Just writing down my notes that I was when this happened, I had to re-record this because this was supposed to be another video, but I re-recorded this when I heard that Connor Lew had decided to enter the NFL draft and how important this is. When you have a new coach coming in who feels as if he can win now, especially with what Auburn has been through the past 5 seasons, you have a fan base that is starving for something to hold on to, starving for wins, starving for something to grab hold to and say, this is where we can go. And if the offensive line play is inadequate and not up to par, you're going to see fans either lose interest faster than before. You're going to see you're going to see the pipeline of trying to build and trying to get offensive linemen to come to Auburn. You're going to see that kind of wane fast. So Auburn has to be aggressive with this. Auburn has to evaluate this correctly and be aggressive in rebuilding this important piece of the offense. You can't miss. You can't miss on the offensive line right here. It cannot be a miss. But if Auburn hits, which I got a feeling they will, the QB play stabilizes, fan interest doesn't wane fast, the scheme of what Auburn wants to do on offense opens up, especially with the non-negotiable of running the football. And guess what? Auburn becomes competitive faster, and now expectations and other recruits see that and know what Auburn can be, and now they want to come be a part of it. So this is a very, very, very important, very imperative piece that Auburn has to get right in order for Auburn to show proof of concept and a step towards progression in the 2026 season. This offensive line isn't just about the next season, it's about Auburn's direction for the next 3 years. Is what this is about. This is what this is about. If Auburn fixes the offensive line, everything else has a chance. Quarterback has a chance to be great. Running backs have a chance to be off the chart, have 1,000-yard rushes. You have the opportunity to see the skill players do what they need to do. You have the opportunity to see the tight ends do what they need to do. You have the opportunity to see the defense do what they need to do. It all starts at the line of scrimmage when it comes to football. People have to understand it. The line of scrimmage is the most important thing in football. That's where games are won. If they don't get this right, and I'm not saying that they will, because I have faith that Auburn, that Coach Golish and this offensive staff with Joe Gordon will get this correct, and they will recruit to this. They will put resources where this needs to be. If it doesn't get fixed, though, this season, it's urgent. If Auburn doesn't get it fixed this season, we'll be having this same conversation again next year. Another what if story about Auburn football. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? What are your 3 points? Or which point do you agree with is the most important of why the line of scrimmage is very imperative to get fixed with no returning starter returning for the 2026 season? Follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23, man. If you're on Instagram and TikTok, follow us at the Water Cooler Talk. And if you have not, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. Help us get to 1,200 subscribers before the end of January 2026. Like I said, Water Cooler Talk is going this way, and we got a lot of things in store for you all, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us. You all have a good one. Y'all be great, man. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you on the next one.